on, Chris. Show me what you got.
Control those vehicles.
Come on, EK. You can do this.
Something's wrong.
Stay behind, JK.
No way I'm gonna let that happen.
This guy is quick. We have to change strategy, guys. I can't get away from him.
Oh, hi, Dutchie. Bye, Dutchie.
3 laps to go. There was some nice splits. Coming on a 342 and
Try hard again.
Okay, that was beaten. One more to go. Chris, I'm coming for you.
Well, it looks like someone's had their breakfast. Let's see what you got, JK.
this is it. Final lap.
Anian. Commit. Commit!
Okay, you came to drive, Stretch!
Here we go, Msc. Last lap. Come on.
Come on, 2 more corners.
No! 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 Come on, John!
I cannot get this guy off my tail.
Chris, you won't. You won't.
Come on, man, you do it, baby, come on. Yes, come on.
Woo! That was awesome, definitely need to do that again.
Ladies and gents, welcome along. We've got another round. Is it duplicating my audio? No, it's not.
Still tried on DJ vibes.
We've got another round of your ACC season here in MSc, and my name is Joseph Black, and I am the person who you all know more than anybody else to try and tech fix on the run, and that's exactly what I'm doing at the start of this stream. I'll do the proper intro in a minute, but for now I'm just trying to get the race control app up, and then we will be able from there to get race day underway. And well, we've started qualifying here in Hungary for the second round of our season, and it's a very, very interesting place to race sports cars. Of course, the cars that are being raced here are what is happening here. It just says not connected. Why does it say not connected? Assetto Corsa Competizione Race Control. I have spent the last couple of minutes trying to troubleshoot this even. Well, not even the last couple of minutes, the last like half an hour to an hour. Hasn't worked, and I don't know why. So we could be making this up as we go, which is the way I love to do everything that I do, but that's absolutely fine. We've got Lucas Santavasci right at the moment. Or sorry, Lucas Santavasci up the top of the field. Roland Toth in P9, but we haven't got anybody setting lap times yet. We've got, though, hopefully, drivers setting lap times soon, and then we're going to be able to get underway. Finally, here for round number 2. It always feels like such a long break in between seasons, it does, when you've got a race every single month. But yeah, up to the line comes Santavasci with a 1:44.7, Masucci up to the line as well with 1:44.9, and that is the way we've gotten underway here in Hungary. Towed across the line 3 seconds back on Santavasci, and Morgan has gotten going. Dunzen up to the line and will be going once again. That was an outlap, I believe. Petruchko and Kuliar come up to the line and set lap times. Novicki trying to go quicker, went a little bit quicker there, 2.7 seconds off of the pace. Smith up to the line, Drew Smith that is, and 3.8 seconds off of the top pack, and that's not too bad going.
And we have a virtual safety car again. Because Vinny retired. And there is a Red Bull, that's Theo. Theo made a mistake.
But yeah, Santavasci and Masucci, the pace advantage over the rest of the field. Nicky Reimer heading through the last sector now. A few drivers heading through that sector. And they will now come up to the line to set their lap times. Reimer, in fact, in the beginning of that last sector, and we'll see where the number 90 RFR car ends up going in this qualifying session. But yes, my name is Joseph Black. I'm back here this evening for an evening of MSC action. Hopefully one less affected by technical issues than in the past.
Or did he had?
You know me, that's on board with Reimer. I'm just going to pull this one up because the names coming up above the head is slightly annoying. Is it in
I will learn from it.
V? Wonderful.
Vinny said he lost the rears.
There we go. There we go. We're sorted. Nicky Reimer letting the driver behind through. Masucci going closer to Santavasci. But Santavasci improving on his lap time at 1:44.3 at the top of the field. Gray 1 second off of Santavasci as it stands at the moment. But yeah, it's just under 9 minutes left in this qualifying session. Santavasci currently holding on to that pole position. All these drivers are trying to set times to beat it. Dunzen, Stufa, Mirko and Morgan all not having set lap times so far. They're going to try and change that and actually go in to those top few positions. But as it stands at the moment, they haven't done such a thing. And they wait in the wings just behind Teddy Screep, going to within a second of Santavasci at the top with a 1:44.3 being the pole time. Screep with a 1:45.1. Not too bad going there from at the moment. And well, if you can make it within a second of 44.3, you're doing pretty well.
And then we have LS on fresh mediums without time.
You can hear someone on in the background. Who can you hear in the background? Let's see. I am just trying to pull the stream up. There isn't anybody talking in the background, so maybe it's something in the server. It must be something in the server, because it's certainly not coming from my end.
And also the other Haas is between Luke and Lil Gupta.
What is going on?
That's good for Luke.
I know what's going on.
When he said he gained 8 positions over
I know what's going
I think
on.
it was a good start for you.
That can go. And it's from me though, that is my bad. And I will just clear this one out as well. Sometimes Discord likes to get out of streamer mode. And that is basically what was happening. My Discord was not in streamer mode, and for some reason I was in a VC, and it was pinging everything. Anyway, thank you for letting me know. If there is any more technical issues, please do inform me in the chat. But yeah, or in Discord as well, you can DM me. But we're all sorted. Santavasci and Masucci still in the lead. Screep closing in. Gray also within a second now. But yeah, these drivers, it's just sorting themselves out at the start of this session. We've still got Stufa and Morgan not having set lap times yet. Are they both sitting in the pit lane? No, Morgan's out on circuit. Stufa is also out on the circuit. So we've got a few drivers out on the circuit. So yeah, it is what it is. And they haven't done so yet, making their way into the points, or making their way into anywhere further up. But at the moment, as it stands, they are not setting lap times yet. Santavashi retaking the pole where Msc only just overtook for that pole position. So Santavashi at the moment looking pretty good right up the very top of this field. Msc managing to keep range. Teddy Scrape though drops to outside of a second behind. But yes, Santavashi and Msc dominant, I'd argue, over the rest of the field at the moment. Astufa and Morgan still having not set lap times. Astufa's coming around the final couple of corners now. Whether he's going to come into the pits or finish that lap time, I don't know yet. But it looks as though he is going to continue on. So Astufa will be getting his first lap time. And Morgan went into P9, the number 1 BMW, 3.5 seconds off of Santavashi at the very top. But yeah, at the moment, that is the way it is. Astufa goes into P10, just behind Morgan. Just under 5 minutes left in the session. And well, we're looking pretty good in terms of a competitive fight. We've got these 3 drivers, or these 4 drivers even, within a second of each other, and then the top 2, of course, even closer together. So looking pretty good so far, and it only looks set to continue to get closer with just over... Apologies there. Just over 4 minutes left in the session. Santavashi 43.8 pole position, second place for Msc, just over a quarter of a second back. But yes, we are heading towards... We just got over 3 minutes left in the session. And Santavashi and Msc at the moment. That was a very loud chair. Santavashi and Msc at the moment are the class of this field. Mirko is going to come up to the line. Could be an improvement on that lap time. But we'll have to wait and see as he comes up to the line. Is it an improvement? His last time was 1.7 seconds off, and I believe actually it may have been an outlap because no time was registered there, and he now sits in P number 3 for the time being. Or P number 5 even. What am I talking about? P number 5. Yellow flags are out later down the circuit, but that was only a brief yellow flag, and we are able to get going once again in this session. Towards the end of it now we come, and yeah, Santavashi comes back into the pits after Msc closed in exactly a second ahead of Teddy Scrape in P3. Oh, big spin there for Mirko, who will not be improving on his lap time as it stands. And yeah, he's down the bottom. Or he's down in P5 at the moment. This lap time will be down at the bottom with the rest of the drivers. And I think he might be now trying to pull over to come back into the pits and go one more time. He doesn't want to wait too long. But no, he let the drivers through. And he's getting ready to set himself up for another lap time, which makes sense actually with only 1 minute 30 seconds left in the session. It's going to be a very, very tight ask for him to come around and restart another lap time. But yes, it is going to be interesting for these drivers towards the end of this qualifying session as to exactly what is going to as to exactly what is going to happen. Mirko running wide to let another couple of drivers through. The number 111 McLaren letting drivers away. And say, yeah, Santavasci at the top. Going to be very, 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 very interesting as to whether he and Masucci are going to be able to hold on to those positions. They did, though, come into the pits and will not be improving on those lap times, nor will Morgan, Reimer, Weiss and Couliard. And now Mirko comes across the line to start his final run, as will many of the drivers. We're going to try and find Tuddy Screep, the driver in the best position, to take that pole position off the cars in front. His last lap time was a 45.4. His best is a 44.9. And he's only got a few more corners to go until he will be able to finish that lap. And the McLaren for the Stiff Kicks Cats team is looking to try and take that pole position away as the checkered flag is waved. Dan Smith, or David Smith even, will not be improving on his time. Up to the line comes Tuddy Screep. He's gone to within a second of Masucci, but it's not close enough. Dunson will be the next driver to set his lap time. Is 1.8 seconds off of pole position at the moment. The number 421 comes around the final couple of corners, tries to put the power down out of the final one, and comes up to the line to improve and go ahead of Tuddy Screep into P3, but it's a lap time 0.7 seconds off of the pole man at the moment. Parasitidis and Toth not improving. Tuddy Screep and Nicky Reimer in the pits. Navicki is going to come up to the line, and it's going to be an improvement by 1.3 seconds, but 6th place is still where he sits. Up to the line comes Francisco Vieira, and he improves by 0.3 of a second. Sarastufa comes around the final corner, and he will not improve on his lap time. Gray now up to the line, although he's actually going to come into the pit. Kutroshko coming up to the line next, and he will come around the final corner and come up to the line, and he will be the final finisher in 12th place. But Santavasci and Masucci were able to take those top two positions. P3 went to Dunson after snatching it away at the very death. But the McLaren and the Ford look like they might be setting themselves up to fight for so long in this race, because they're so close together. Dunson and Screep not too far off as well. And so this could be a very, very intriguing battle at the top of this field between all of those drivers who sit currently right up the very top. And yeah, we will be in I'm sure, for a very intriguing race. If anything, Phoenix Gray sitting in P5 in the standings. He is the man who is on top in terms of the championship standings. He's got 97 points. And second place, Travis Marquise, who's not racing. He's on 75. Donnie Linton, also not racing, on 69. Nice. Is this the right one? No, this is the console one. Phoenix Gray is top of the console one. Apologies there. And I'm trying to find the PC one. The link sent me to the wrong place, I think. Which is what the issue would have been. So, Season 1. Is this the right place? Is this the standings, or am I completely wrong? I am completely wrong. Why am I not able to look at the... I don't want a quick race, I want to look at the championship. Let me look at... It's not letting me because it's the championship's private. Okay, so I can only see the standings for the old one, or for the console one, but not the other one. So that's interesting. That's potentially something that needs fixing. But yeah, we are now 3 minutes away from the start of the race. Santavasci and Masucci sitting on that front row. Don't forget as well, we're going to have a rolling start. I'm going to run an advert. We're going to have a look at, well, what could be coming up. The ad looped a couple of times, but that's fine at the end of the day, because now we're only a minute away from getting underway here in Hungary for the beginning, round number 2 of this championship, and it should be a very good championship indeed, with Santavashi and Msc, as well as Dunzen and Screep. Within a second, Phoenix Grey, of course, the championship leader in console, looking to try and translate his performance over to PC. So nothing here is said and done, that is fair to be said. And, well, it's all yet to be decided. We'll have an hour of racing around Hungary to decide just that. And we will come up to the line at the end of it with just the one winner. But we are now getting ready for this race start. Just over 40 seconds to go. And then we'll be heading to race day number 13. Lucas Santavashi on that pole position with Antonio Msc in P2. Dunzen taking P3 with Tuddy Screep in P4. And Phoenix Grey in 5th place. 6th is Navicki. 7th is Mirko. 8th is Morgan. 9th is Reimer. Morgan, who's just had a Popeye spicy chicken, by the way. 10th is Toth. 11th is Estufa. 12th is Katrochko. 13th is Smith. 14th is Vice. 15th is Kuliar. 16th is Vieira. And 17th is Parastatidis. And now we're getting underway for the formation lap here in Hungary. There we go, Santavashi leading us away in that green and black McLaren with yellow tints. It's an interesting livery there, but yeah, I don't know whether I like it or hate it. Looking at other drivers as well, Dunzen's gone for the majority white livery. Screep is a red and grey. Masucci's I like, if that's a gold. It is a gold. That's the colours of MSC. I like that. That's good. 5th place, Phoenix Grey. Is that British Racing Green, or are my eyes deceiving me and it's just a black? It's just a black and gold. So, yeah, that's fine. Navicki in the Ferrari, red. I like it. Mirko in behind. What colour is that car? It's a similar... We've all gone for the green and black of MSC, which I like. Morgan, just black. So's Reimer, Toth. Toth's livery, I think I like the best out of everybody so far, and I think it may well be a default one. If not, then that's really good designing from Toad. And then Estufa, who spins. So that's great timing. With a silver, green, and red livery. That's an interesting stylistic choice he's got there. Katrochko, greeny, yellow, and black. Okay. Smith with a Red Bull American livery, which you can expect. And then Estufa actually dropped down to P13 in the end. Then it's Vice, who looks like he's wrapped up, ready to be given as a gift. Couliard. We'll see, is that just a black? Is it a black and... Yeah, it's just a black. I like a sleek black, to be fair. Vieira looks like he's done a lot of customization, either that or it's a default one. The number 44 in like a... I call that a Mercedes green, if that will make sense. And then Parastatidis with... I don't mind that one either. We've got some decent liveries. We've got some decent liveries. And we're ready to get underway. After we've started to come around the final couple of corners. Final corner awaits. Santavashi and Msc will lead us away They've come around the final corner in Hungary, and now it's just a game of waiting and waiting to the line, which is now. We're underway very, very soon. And green, green, green is the call, and go, go, go does Santavashi as he's on the inside line of turn number 1. Msc trying to go around the outside. It's 3 wide in behind with Dunstan, Screep and Gray. That's a car going off of the circuit. That is a huge send from Smith that takes out Msc. That is not what you'd want to see, as there's green flags being waved in this segment of the racetrack. Yellows in the first couple, and that is a good start for Santavashi. That's an awful start for his rival at the top, Msc, who drops all the way down the field. And, well, that's Phoenix Gray in P2 as Dunstan and Screep had to take avoiding action and may well have been collected in that one. Msc up in the lead of this race, in fact, and it actually was... What's going on here? What is going on here early on in Hungary? As all these drivers... Right, Nicky Reimer's in the pit. Santavashi's in the lead. He is in the lead. Msc was in P2 at the start. He's dropped down to P9. The game has glitched at the start of this race. And, well, it's... Yeah, Santavashi in first place. Second for Phoenix Gray. Third for Daniel Nowicki. Fourth for Morgan. And fifth for Sarastufa. Sixth for Sarastufa. No, it will be fifth. It will be sixth. Yeah, sixth for Mirko. Seventh for Msc. Eighth for Screep. Ninth for Vieira. 10th for Kotrochko. 11th for Couliard. 12th for Vitz. 13th for Dunstan. 14th for Toth. 15th for Parasitidis. And 16th for Nicky Reimer. No, Drew Smith, who I think missed his breaking point by about 3 years heading into turn number 1. And, well, ended up taking out Msc, but it could have been a whole lot worse. End of lap 1 then, and Santavashi leads away with Phoenix Gray now coming under pressure from Nowicki down the inside of the first corner. It's Porsche versus Ferrari, and at the moment the Porsche has the straight line speed to hold on to the position, but Phoenix Gray will have that cornering speed and pulls to the inside line. Doesn't make that move, but he is threatening early on here in Hungary to try and take it off Santavashi and Gray for those first couple of positions. But yeah, Phoenix Gray, 4.1 seconds off of Santavashi, who's absolutely exploded away at the start. Astufa was looking for a move on Msc, hasn't made it work. And this top 6 group have, or this top 7 group even, have a big gap back to Vice, as I think this is where the issues began for the drivers further back, as that's the inside line for Dunstan as he tries to get past Dre Viss, and it's the inside line heading into the chicane, and the number 421 makes his way through Dunstan up ahead of Viss, and well, 9th becomes 8th for the Aston Martin. The Honda drops down to P number 8, and Nowicki continues to try to pressure Gray up ahead. These drivers are close together on the circuit so far, and Santavashi looks like he's blasting all the way away. But yes, Santavashi at the end of this second lap is in the lead, and I stand corrected as well, because I was not in P1. No, I was wrong. I said that it was an hour. It was 45 minutes instead, which is correct. I was wrong, and well, we head on to the end of that second lap of those 45 minutes, and Santavashi leads this one by a mile, but Gray could be coming under pressure from all the drivers behind Nowicki, the next one back, and well, those three looking close. I would go for, I've just checked chat, I would go for a black, pink, yellow livery by my car myself. I think that might be the worst combination of colours I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, I like the black base, I like a pink with a black, and I like a yellow with a black. I don't like the combination personally. That would be where I would disagree with that livery. Anyway, that would be ugly. I would like a black, a purple, and a pink. Or I would like a black, a yellow. Just like a black and a yellow. Take notes from Gray on Msc, everybody. Your helmet colours in F1, well, I'm glad I don't commentate on the F1 side. I will say that. No, but It's, yeah, an interesting colour combination nonetheless. Could be looking down the inside for Nowicki, or could be opening the door for Msc, who just tucks to the inside on the next corner, and could be making this move very soon. It is a very late braking move from Msc, but he outbrakes himself, and Nowicki heads back through and holds on to P3 for the time being. Msc, who has the fastest lap of the race now, was unable to take advantage of his pace. And actually, it's been stolen off him by Santavashi now, but he was unable to take advantage of his pace advantage and dropped back down into P4. The pace advantage for him, though, is high, and he's going to try and get back down now as they head to turn number 1. The inside line beckons for the Ford driver, and is he going to be able to take this position? He tucks in ahead. Nowicki just has to tuck in behind. That was very good racecraft to just tuck in exactly right in behind and just ahead for Msc, and that is pretty good racecraft there from those drivers. So far in this race, the first few laps have finished, and Santavashi, while he's been bursting away, these drivers have developed an intriguing battle for P2, 3 and 4. They've broken away from Morgan as well, who's 2.3 seconds behind, and that sort of a slide will not help him with Astufa and Screep even waiting in the wings and ready to make a move if he makes any further mistakes. Morgan, the only BMW driver on this grid. He's not the only driver to be the only one in a car. Dunson has the Aston Martin, and Msc up the top has the Ford. It looks a bit more bullish than the rest of the cars, as that's a mistake made, and Astufa tries to go through on Morgan. He does so. Could this be a double move as Screep tries to go through? It won't, because Morgan is trying to fight back with Astufa instead. They're side by side into the final sector, and it's going to be who's later on the brakes. Morgan is, but has he outbraked himself, and can Astufa make his way back round the outside? No. Morgan holds on to the position. Good defending there after an initial mistake from the BMW, and now Astufa, in trying to make his way past, has now made his own mistake, and Tuddy Screep moves up into P6, and the McLaren now takes the opportunity and could be trying to get past Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan? That's the name of the guy in Red Dead Redemption. Adrian Morgan. Onto lap number 4, and yeah, not too bad going. I've turned up the video capture device so you get a little bit more car action going on. I might even turn it up a little bit further, as we won't be having anyone so not too much louder than me. But yeah, the 4th lap of this race is underway, and Santavashi has blasted away from the rest of the field. He's 8 seconds ahead of Msc and P2. Msc, who's done an incredible job, in fact, to get back up to P2 after that initial contact. Reimer actually might be out of the pits again and might be ready to race. Yeah, he is. He's out of the pits, but he's down a lap. And he's getting blue flags with the car in behind trying to make his way through. But fair play to Nicky Reimer for coming out of the pits and actually keeping going. Many would have retired in that situation. He still feels there's something to fight for. Either that, we're just going to have a bit of fun in this race, and that's completely understandable. And yeah, I'm going to turn the car sounds down a bit because it actually is drowning me out. I was wrong. Is that any better? Yeah, that's better. That is much better. Just all this testing that we're going to have going on. Nicky Reimer down the bottom of the field. And that's going to cause annoyance to me personally as I'm trying to cycle through the field manually. Santavashi across the line for lap number 5 to begin. And Msc P2 will come around. He's built a gap now to Nowicki. And what's the gap between himself and Santavashi? It's 8.6. So they're very matched in pace. Nowicki, though, in grey, also matched in pace, but nowhere near the level of the top 2. So I think this could be the battle between these two for that 3rd podium slot. And for 2 drivers in the amateur category, that's not too bad going. The number 296 and number 91 trying to get up into 3rd place, but they've got each other for company. A move here potentially for Parasitidis down the inside of Dunson, and could be getting through. Dunson actually down the inside of Astufa, trying to make that move stick. And he does so. P7 for Dunson, 8th for Astufa, who drops down into P8 now. And well, not bad going from these drivers in this race so far. And yeah, it's all good. It's all good so far. Not many incidents, ignoring that one at the start with Drew Smith. But of course you can't really ignore that. And well, yeah, it is what it is. I'm trying to find now. I do want to find those standings. I do want to find those standings because that would be an interesting conversation topic. Because the championship, of course, is only in its infancy, but it could still be sorted, as Dunzen now trying to apply pressure to Adrian Morgan, who he may well have seen make a mistake before, and he's made another mistake this time. Heading through goes Dunzen, and he's moved up another position. So this is good stuff so far from Dunzen, who makes his way further up, and yeah, it's all good. It's all good for Dunzen. He's doing well so far, sitting in P number 6. Now he's got Tuddy Screep to close up on, 6.2 seconds off of Phoenix Grey, 0.7 back to Morgan, and 2.7 the gap between himself and Screep at the moment. Santavashi leads this one by a grand total of 7.691, so maybe fuel saving at this point in the race is the McLaren, with Msc in behind in the Ford. 7.6 seconds behind Ford Mustang, flying for Msc at this point in the race for the Antmas team, and he will be very happy with the pace that he's had so far. Of course, the incident that he had at the start was not ideal, and now he's pushing the car to try and catch up to Santavashi, and he has got a second on the McLaren on that last lap, and he's going to try and close in even further. What is it at the end of the second sector split time? It's going to be 7.7, so around the same as before. But if he can keep those gains up that he got on that last lap, if he can do it again, then I think he'll be very, very happy, as he's breaking that gap as well to Nowicki. But Santavashi may well feel under pressure from Msc now as the Ford closes in. But at the moment, they are absolutely fine in this position, as they are 1 and 2 for these two drivers. They won't mind too much about it, but of course Msc will want that race victory, or at least that race lead for now. 7.8 seconds between the two. So he's lost 2/10 on that last lap. His last lap was a 43.9. Santavashi's last lap was a 44. Santavashi's last lap was a 44.3. So it's 4 seconds slower than Msc, in fact. So I was incorrect, but he was 6 tenths quicker in the first 2 sectors, and Santavashi could be being closed in here on this lap, and over the next few. We're a quarter of the way through the race now. That shouldn't be a tongue twister, but indeed it was. We're a quarter of the way through now, this race, and Santavashi and Msc, the two quickest drivers, demonstrating so far, with Santavashi 7.4 seconds up on Msc, Msc 4.6 seconds up on the Ferrari of Nowicki in behind. And Msc closes in the first 2 sectors. I've discovered this over the last couple of laps, having watched him. He closes in over the first 2 sectors. So this is going to be, actually, that's the same thing. He closes in the first sector. Second sector is neutral. Third sector is where he starts to close in again. But he really gets those gains in that first sector. So I think he's more confident in that Ford Mustang than Santavashi is in the McLaren up ahead. But it's all about testing now between these drivers. And around the final corner comes Msc, who's going to try and close in ever further. You can see the damage on that Antmas car as he comes up to the line one more time. 7.9, so slower on that previous lap, as Santavashi goes a second or a tenth even and a half quicker on that previous lap time. 30 minutes left in this session, and Santavashi leading Msc. Yellow flags out for somebody in the field. It's going to be Francisco Vieira in P13, who goes around in the second sector. Not ideal for the number 44, and you can see the damage on the front of that car, so potentially he even slammed into the wall, but he's gotten going again. I think he's going to come into the pits and try and fix those those issues that he has. But yeah, that would not be ideal for the race taxi. The get speed number 44. And he's certainly going to have to get speed at some point in this race session in order to catch up and get up to where he would have wanted to be, or where he would have felt that he should have been. Last couple of corners then beckon for Vieira, with Mirko closing in and by far the quicker driver. No, he's going to continue on as Vieira, so he feels as though that damage isn't affecting his pace too much, and so he will continue on for another lap. He's going to come under so much pressure as they head into turn number 1 by Mirko, who has the pace, just got involved in an incident earlier on. Down the inside goes Mirko into the first corner. He makes that move nice and quickly. The number 111 now has Kulia as the next driver up, the big gap between the number 13 and the number 12 in the order. But yeah. "28 minutes left in this race session. Santavashi is coming up to lap Vieira at some point soon, which won't make it difficult at all for me to sort out. Masucci is 7.1 seconds behind, with the fastest lap on the last lap, by the way, on Santavashi. So he's closing in and building that gap to Nowicki, so there's no pressure from behind. It's only in front, which the number 13 has to, or the number 885 even has to think about now, as he tries to close in on Lucas Santavashi in this race. Traffic will play a factor, of course, in this race, and it will play a factor very soon. And the number 13 is going to try and find his way past. I believe this is Vieira, the next car up on the field. Mirko, the next one up. So two drivers very close together. Vice, or Vis even, comes into the pits in the number 6 Honda. So that's an interesting call from him to come in at this point of the race. We are just over a quarter, or sorry, a third of the way through this one. He's flashing now, Vieira, number 44, to get out of his way. Hopefully he does so with no problems, but he's actually not entitled to that position just yet on track, as they're just following each other through. And he's not got that pace advantage yet to hold on to that, to make that move into the position. There we go, Vieira lets him go, and 4.1 seconds now separates Masucci and Mirko. 6.7 seconds separates Santavashi and Masucci. So I think it's fair to say here that Masucci has that pace advantage over Santavashi. He's closer one more time. Santavashi having issues potentially getting past Vieira. Masucci's now got those same issues coming up very soon. So they are only one corner away. They're down the end of this straight while Masucci's at the start of it, for reference. And the number 885 is trying to close right in on Santavashi up in P1. He's doing so well so far, as that is Vieira going slightly off of the circuit, potentially having issues with that grip because of the front of his car being, or having issues, and he moves out of the way now for Masucci to head through. What's the gap between Santavashi and Masucci, you ask? Well, it's 6.5, of course. So 4/10 slower in that last sector from Masucci. But overall, he is going quicker than the car in front. So again, not bad going then from Santavashi and Masucci, who continue on in this race. Masucci continues racing. Don't forget as well, mandatory pit stop will have to be taken. Mirko, Vis, Toad and Smith have all taken it. Santavashi, Masucci, Nowicki, Gray, Dunson, Screek, Morgan, Estufa, Parasitidis, Kotrochko, Kulia, Vieira and Reimer will all have to take it. Reimer, I believe, doing his pit stop 4. He would have been pit window open, although it doesn't have an indicator of the pit window. So we'll actually have to see what goes on with that one, but it is what it is, and they are continuing on. what is the gap now between Santavashi and Masucci? And Santavashi has had, I believe, Mirko for company at 6.8. We'll have a look at Santavashi, in fact, as he tries to catch up to Mirko. I think that's Couliard ahead as well. No, it's not. It's Smith, who's been lapped and could be being lapped again. Masucci's closing in on Santavashi. Santavashi's closing in on Smith, up ahead, and he's just got a lap. He's just got a lap now. The car's in front. This was like a weird point in a one-class race. And I say that because Santavashi is coming up to lap somebody only 20 minutes into the session. And not lapping for the first time, lapping for the second. It's just, it's interesting stuff in this one, and Santavashi will come around now the final corner to try and get past the car in front. Of course, this is Msc Gt3 cars, but everybody's gone for a vast range of different ones. Of course, you've got McLarens of Santavashi, Scrape and Mirko. Just Masucci in the Ford, Navicki, Estufa, Katrochko, Toth and Reimer in the Ferrari, with Gray and Couliard in the Porsche. Then you have Adrian Morgan, the only driver in the BMW. Oh, sorry, Santavashi. I keep getting them wrong. I know it's Santavashi, but I keep getting it. Parasitidis in the Lexus. And Dunzen in the Aston Martin, while this is in Honda. And Smith is in the Audi, and Vieira is in the Mercedes. I kept shaping up as if I was done. I wasn't. I kept pretending that I was. It was my bad. Not pretending. That's wrong. But, Gray comes into the pits as Parasitidis gets a drive-through penalty. That is not what the Lexus would have wanted to see, and that'll surely drop him out of the top 10 now. As Gray's pit stop is over and he gets ready to go back out on track, where is he going to come out? Estufa comes across the line ahead of Gray. And so does Adrian Morgan, as that is two cars going past now. And I think he might be out in P11 behind Dunzen and Couliard. I think. Am I right in saying that? Absolutely, as Dunzen goes into the side of Couliard. I think the number 80 just span out of turn number 1. In the meantime, Phoenix Gray has just gone around the outside. He sensed that danger and he's flown past. That is incredible racecraft from Phoenix Gray to make his way up into P9. Couliard with a mistake on the exit of turn number 1. Dunzen couldn't do anything about it, went into the side, and Phoenix Gray spotting the opportunity and going all the way around the outside. Number 91, that is incredible stuff actually for him to move up into P number 9. It'll be P number 8 when Parasitidis comes in, serve his drive-through. But we'll have to see where it is as well, as all the drivers up ahead also need to make their pit stops. Masucci, Navicki and Scrape coming in for the undercut with 21 minutes left in the session. And we'll see where they end up coming out. Estufa coming across the line, so there'll be at least P3. Morgan going through. Parasitidis going through. No, Parasitidis pitting. Navicki is sitting in the pit lane. Masucci's just come out. So we'll see where these drivers do end up coming out, because that's a very long pit for Navicki, as Antonio Masucci now does come out of the pit in behind. Is this Phoenix Gray he's come out behind? Or is that a driver that has been lapped? It looks like blue flag, so it looks like he has been lapped. But yeah, for him, he needs to make his way past soon. Who is that car in front? I can't quite spot it just yet. The number 17. Or it might be P17's Nicky Reimer. That would make sense. So Nicky Reimer needing to get out of the way of Masucci soon. And it is indeed Nicky Reimer, P17 for him. Number 885. Trying to unlap. Or trying to lap Nicky Reimer. Nicky not giving up much track position. And he's actually finally made his way through. So that was a very, very long wait for Msc to have to sit in behind. But yeah, it's very difficult, isn't it, when you're racing your own race and you have to let somebody through. Parasiticus has come into the pits, and now he comes in once again to serve his drive through penalty. Hopefully, at least, is what he is doing. But yeah, Santovashi has that gap over Stufa now in P2. Santovashi hasn't come in, Msc has. And the undercut has been triggered by the number 885, so could be the fact that he goes up into P1 if he gets this undercut nailed. If not, then a Stufa will just get out of the way and Msc will sit in P2. I think, regardless of what happens, he moves closer as Msc to Santovashi. Because of that undercut, I think he does move closer to the car in front, and the car at the top of Vieira comes in to serve his pit stop. The only ones out there who still have to make their mandatory pit stop: Santovashi, Stufa, Petrochko, Couliard, Vieira and Niki Rana. So 5 of the 17 drivers, but we've got over 2/3 of them now having come into the pits. In fact, what percentage would 5 or what percentage would 12 be of 17? I'll try and do the maths in my head quickly. That's a difficult number to do, to be honest with you. If anybody in chat can do it, that would be great. If you want to calculate it, I would be mucho apreciado. And yeah. Can you hear my PC going absolutely mental, by the way? I don't know why it's struggling to run this game. No, I think I've drowned it out with the car sounds. That's good. I mean, the Stufa comes into the pits. Santovashi going for the extreme overcut on Msc behind with only 17 minutes left to go in the session. We're about 2/3 of the way through this race now. And Santovashi still hasn't come into the pits, nor has a Stufa, or Stufa has actually now. Petrochko, Couliard, and then Vieira and Ryan have come in. So I think surely it's the next lap for those cars up ahead. Surely this is the opportunity for them to come into the pits. You would think, at least. That would make sense for them to come in. But as it stands, they are not doing that just yet. They may well do so on this lap, I think. That is what we're going to see. But, yeah. Santovashi finally makes his way into the pits on the 16th lap of this circuit. Try and get him so we can watch as he comes out of the pit lane. Where is he? There he is. Lucas Santovashi for LCS Racing. Yeah, he comes into the pits and he's now going to try and come out of the pit lane. Where is he going to come out of the pit lane, though? That is another question. And yeah, these two drivers, they've been scrapping the race long. I think it's fair to say. But out of the pits then comes Santovashi. Well, they would have been scrapping a race long had Msc not been taken out in that first lap. But yeah, out of the pits then comes Santovashi in the lead of this race once again. But you can see Msc in the background. That gap, not too big at all. And so this one could get very, very close towards the end of the race between these two drivers. With Msc having the momentum, Santovashi is going to have to warm up his tyres. But yeah, at the moment as it stands, They are P1 and P2. With Novicki way too far off of the field. Or of those top two at the very least. That is Dravis letting Msc Gt3 through. And yeah, they continue on. Mirko now has picked up a drive-through penalty. The number 111, who's sitting in P8. His race just gets that little bit worse. Really, that's all you can really say about it. Really unfortunate then for him. So he will have to try and sort his stuff out and come into the pits, come back out of it. Morgan, latest driver with drive-through. As that was actually Mirko leaving the session, disconnecting. Or something, but Mirko is not in this race anymore. And it could be as a result of his drive-through penalty. Yeah, Msc P4, P2 at the moment, and yeah, trying to close the gap in on Santavashi at the top of this field. 13 minutes left in the race, so we are over 2/3 of the way through this race, and well, I think we're going to get either a very close ending or a very easy win after all is said and done for Santavashi, because his rival for this race, you would say, Msc, got taken out of turn 1. He's been on the comeback the whole race, but the gap has sort of stabilised around 5, like high 5, low 6s in terms of gap at the top. But yeah, Santavashi in the lead of this one. Msc P2. Morgan does end up coming into the pits. This cycling through stuff is so doing me head in, mate. Where's Morgan? There he is. He's still got that drive through hanging over his head. And, well, the man in 9th place, I believe, is going to have to yield. Or no, that's him making his way past the Stufa. So he's actually continuing to race in this one. Yeah, he's not doing too badly as it stands. But of course, that drive-through penalty will really cost him in this race, and at some point probably going to have to come in and serve it. Personally, not 100% sure how the Assetto Corsa penalty systems work, but either way, Morgan is going to come in to serve that penalty, and he's going to come out, well, at least behind a Stufa. That's fair to be said. I think he's going to come out P11 potentially. Where's Vis and where is Couliard? So Vis is... actually, I think he might come out in P9. I think he might get away with it. With Couliard only just coming into Sector 3, Vis. Or Sector 2 even, Vis in the middle of it. So I think Morgan's going to get away with it. As he... yeah, he comes out of the pits now. What a nice looking car that is. I am such a big fan of a clean looking car, and that is a clean car. Who's he come out ahead of? That's Reimer. Yeah, Dravis is behind. So Morgan, not losing out too much, only losing that one position that he only picked up on that previous lap. So it's not too bad. Masucci's closed in by 3/10 on Santavashi, but at this rate he's not going to close in by the end of this race. Everybody's made their pit stop, apart from Kutrochko, who I'm sure will be struggling on that set of tyres. or with that fuel load as well. The number 18 coming through. Is he going to come into the pits on this occasion? The answer is yes. Yes, he is. And Gt3 does indeed come in, the number 18, the last driver to pit. And well, Toad's going to lap himself. Estufa's going to head through. I think Gt3 is going to come out around where Morgan is. So the battle could light up for that P number 8. On to the last 10 minutes of this race. There was yellow flags out briefly for somebody on this circuit. Morgan holding P9 at the moment and heading around the final corner. He would have been fighting with Estufa for that P7 had he not got that drive-through penalty. Alas, he did. And now he is going to be coming across the line to start his 19th lap of this circuit. He's going to come out of it ahead of this, Gt3, with Nicky Reimer, the buffer between the two. Vieira 4 laps behind for the number 44 Mercedes AMG. So for him, not great. Msc is closing again, by the way. 44.7 for Santaveshi on that last lap. 44.1 for Msc. So the Ford is closing still. I think he's going to close all the way up to the end of the race, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to fight for that race lead in the end of it. But yeah. The gap is now under 5 seconds. Msc just closing and closing and closing on Santavacci and the number 30. I will get that right at some point this season. Of course, this is only round number 2, and I was only informed of it at the end of lap number 1. So I'm having teething problems, of course, as it is early on. But yeah, it is what it is. So we will have a 5-race season. And this is round number 3 of it. We had Monza in March, Barcelona in April, Hungary in, of course, today. Then Silverstone and Spa to round out the field. Which isn't, you know, I'm a big fan of that calendar. It offers a little bit of everything, and it's also all circuits I know from the F1 circuit, because obviously everyone gets introduced through Formula 1, and that is where I know all of those circuits from initially. I've commentated over 24 hours at Spa. I've never commentated on anything outside of F1 at Silverstone. Hungary, this is, I think, the second ACC race I've done here. Barcelona, I think I've only ever touched F1. And Monza is the circuit where I do all of my stuff at Monza. It's fair to be said. Interesting to note as well that, well, I mean, I wasn't there for Monza, but we are on the 3rd round of this season now, and I'm just going to try and pick up the results from the last one so I can cross-reference who did well in that race. 116 viewers on YouTube, that's not too bad. Oh, it's Zabby. I know Zabby. I think that was Zabby doing the PC one. Yeah, it was Zabby doing the PC one. Okay. That's good to know. I know Zabby. So, yeah, that's very, very interesting to note. Has he actually left the session? Has he left the Has he left the server? I think he has. I think he has, you know. That's a shame. Oh well. Just under 4 seconds now, the gap between Santavacci and Msc. But we'll switch our attention from the battle for the lead. And we'll have a look at some scrapping on track that could be happening. Phoenix Gray and Josef Dunsen. This one could certainly get interesting, as Dunsen has been very, very quick all race along. Qualifying not the best, or he may well have dropped down at the start, either one, and either way he dropped down. But yeah, for Dunsen and Gray, they're now scrapping over that P4, and it's almost confirmed to be P4 really. 6.4 seconds behind Novicki, up in third place, and I don't think they're going to be able to close that gap. Msc, though, I think he's going to get quite close to Santavaci. Santavaci, when he closes in with that slipstream effect, that will really come into play. But at the moment, 3.7 seconds behind. He's got all that work to do. As that is Phoenix Gray in the background, making a huge mistake. A huge mistake that has cost him that battle for P4. He manages to hold on to P6, but I don't know whether that is a Stufa in behind. It's not. It's Couliard. So Phoenix Gray making a huge mistake. Your console championship leader not being able to translate it over to PC. And he drops down to P6 now from the battle for P4. And Dunsen now has the opportunity to just breeze away. 3.4 the seconds between Santavaci and Msc. 3.4 the minutes left in this race, or 3.40 left in this race. And Msc needs to gain a 1/10 of a second every 10 seconds in order to take that race victory. Msc would be so excited about this, I'm sure, because that would be insane if he's able to catch up all that way. That would genuinely be incredible, considering what happened lap 1, turn 1 with Smith. The fact that he's been able to close that gap to what will be at the end of this sector just under 3 seconds. That's incredible. That would be, at least, incredible. And that is exactly what he's going to try and do. And I think he's likely to be successful. As now we come up to the second sector split time. Is it an improvement for Msc, who goes very wide? No. So I was wrong. He drops 0.4 of a second to Santavaci. At this point of the season. That could be it, or this point of the race, that could be it for Santavaci ahead of Msc. Just one mistake for the Ford driver, and that could cost him the race lead. Or at least the battle for the race lead, although Msc, I think, could have pushed his car just a little bit over the limit. As now he has dropped another 0.4 in that final sector. So not ideal for Msc, who I think will now try to settle himself in the number 2. And well, it wouldn't be a too bad of a result then for the Ford driver. Of course, up ahead is Santavaci, who looks like he's going to go on and win this race. But the McLaren has just been dominant so race long. But hats off to Msc. He's been so quick for so long in this race. Of course, he didn't have the greatest time of it with an incident earlier on. But ever since then, he's been very quick, and there will be one more lap in this race. It's going to be a Santavaci who leads us onto it. And, well, is there actually? There surely is going to be one more lap in this race. Yeah, Santavaci is going to lead us onto it. Msc has closed in 0.3 in the first 2 sectors. It's not going to be enough now with that deficit he had in that last little bit, and now they come around the final corner for the penultimate time to finish this race off. About 20 seconds left on the clock, so we will be getting one more lap underway. And Msc is 4 seconds behind. So if you want to close in, the time is now for the Ford driver to close right in. He's 4 seconds behind. So he lost that lap time on that previous one, and surely that is Santovacci taking that race in lead. The checkered flag is waved, then Santovacci will lead us to the final time, or for the final time down the main straight. He's still got traffic ahead of him that he may not even worry about, with 3.8 seconds the gap between himself and Msc, who's been so quick all race long to try and catch up to Santovacci, but so close, but also no cigar for Santovacci now. It's 3.8 seconds ahead of Msc, so it's a comfortable lead. He can afford to stay behind these lapped cars, and if he cannot afford it, then he'll be able to scythe his way through them with ease. That is a car off of the circuit in the background there. That is the Mercedes, I think, of the era, going off of the circuit and being lapped for the 5th time. Yes, it is. But the man who's been doing all of that lapping, the man who's been doing all of these laps and leading us onto them from start to finish, all the way from the start of qualifying. The only time he was knocked off of first place was when Msc took that pole position away from him in qualifying momentarily. But ever since then, it has been Santovacci's dominance here in Hungary, and he takes that victory with a P2 heading Msc's way. So he won't be too devastated about that one, as we have our finishers now coming across the line, and the pace dominance of those top two was as such that Nowicki has only just come in to the 3rd sector. So that is the levels that Santovacci and Msc have been on today. And Santovacci will head on and be very, very happy with that P1. Nowicki will head around the final couple of corners to take P3. Dunson not too far behind in P4, but again, so close, but no podium heading his way. And yeah, Dunson P4. Screep will take P5. Smith has finished in P13, so Tuddy Screep across the line in P5. This will take P9, as that is Tuddy Screep going off the circuit. He's finished, it doesn't matter. Then Phoenix Grey across the line to P6. Unlucky for him to make a big mistake when he did, and I think he's just made another mistake here. He's going to cross the line backwards. He is going to cross the line backwards, but he takes P6. Katrochko is going to take P10 after waiting so long to come into the pits ahead of Couliard in P11. And then it's going to be a Stufer in P7, the next driver away. The next driver to come up to the line, the Mexican. Doing pretty well this race. Coming up to this line. To come 7th. Toth will come across the line 12th. Adrian Morgan will come across the line in P8. And Nicky Reimer has come into the pits and will not be finishing. So we will wait for Nicky Reimer's AR to decide he has given up on this race. Morgan, final finisher. 14 out of 17 finishes. Not too bad. Santovacci tops the lot. We've had an hour of racing, or 45 minutes of racing, plus qualifying here in Hungary. The victory was taken by Lucas Santovacci with a dominant performance. He would have been run close by Msc, but it was not to be. And they both head up to the podium, joined, of course, by Daniel Nowicki. That is the end of another race, round number 3 of your Fanatec Podium series here in MSC in the GT3 cars. And until next time, it will be goodbye.